Solicitors.
Rapid Solicitors, sponsors of the Elite Ice Hockey League on Sky Sports. Accident compensation and medical negligence claims.
Hello and welcome to the Rapid Solicitors Elite Ice Hockey League highlight show here on Sky Sports. Today we're at Ice Sheffield, the second home of the Sheffield Steelers, as they take on the Cardiff Devils in another crucial Challenge Cup game.
Last week we saw the Steelers lose out to rivals the Nottingham Panthers in the Cup. This week they need to get a win over Gerard Adams' Devils to get their campaign back on track. We'll also be showing you highlights from the rest of the games around the league, and TV coach Paul Thompson gives us an insight into some of his preparation for an Elite League game.
Well, alongside me, steering that ice hockey ship, is Dave Simms. Dave, another big game for the Sheffield Steelers and another big game for Ryan Finnerty.
Every game's a big game, isn't it? And especially tonight because it's Challenge Cup action and it's the last chance saloon for the Sheffield Steelers. We said last week, Anna, how important the Challenge Cup was. Well, for the Sheffield Steelers, if they can't beat the Cardiff Devils here in Ice Sheffield this evening, then the Challenge Cup dream is over for Finnerty for another season. They have to win tonight. If they don't, it's then between Cardiff and Coventry for that second semi-final position, with Nottingham pretty much having the group wrapped up.
Now, the Cardiff Devils, we haven't seen them for a while. How are they faring?
They're doing okay. And that's the problem with the Cardiff Devils. They're doing okay. They're not doing anything spectacular. They're not pulling any trees up at the moment. And the surprising thing, Anna, is they've lost a couple of games at home. And in the big blue tent, the Cardiff Devils really are conquerors of all. But they lost to Sheffield and then they had that big defeat to the Belfast Giants. So they'll be looking to get back to winning ways. They've already lost in Sheffield once this season. It's just okay for the Cardiff Devils right now. You know, they've got a few guys that are underperforming. Better to come.
Now, you yourself have said they can't win the league, but can they win the Challenge Cup?
Oh, absolutely they can win the Challenge Cup. The Challenge Cup is designed for teams like the Cardiff Devils because of the semi-final format and then the final format. They have to play one of those games in their own building where normally they are so strong. So, yes, this is a trophy they can win. Can they win the league? Not a chance. Can they win the Challenge Cup? Absolutely.
Strong words. Now, the ice here at Ice Sheffield is a lot smaller. Does that make a difference?
Well, it is and it isn't. There's fewer seats here than at the Sheffield Arena, but the ice size, it's an Olympic-sized pad as well, and the Sheffield Steelers practice here 2-3 times a week, so it shouldn't make any difference to them. Cardiff have been here before and have played here as well, so I don't really see any excuses being made that the game is here rather than the big building over the road.
Well, it's certainly a big game for both teams, and 24 hours ago they were both in action. The Cardiff Devils, they hosted Dundee at the Big Blue Tent, and the Sheffield Steelers made the short trip down the road to the National Ice Centre as they played the Nottingham Panthers. Chris Ellis reports.
A win for Nottingham would see them in the semi-finals of the Challenge Cup. Sheffield had some making up to do, not least to their fans, after last week's home defeat to the same opposition. Nottingham break after a take giveaway. Myers to Benedict, saved there by John De Caro. Nottingham had plenty of possession in the first period, couldn't find a way through though, but Sheffield were aggressive, particularly on the penalty kill, restricting Nottingham when they had the men advantage. Now Myers once more, great move right hand side. He goes in on De Caro, but once more the save is made. Nottingham had plenty of chances in the first session. David Clarke here looking to add to his 15 goals this season, out in front, and the save is made by De Caro once more. Into the second session, a lovely move here. Myers drops it off for Benedict, then round the back Myers once more. Benedict gets it again, champagne backhand right into the path of Benedict, and Nottingham led 27-04, a sixth goal of the season for Brandon Benedict. Then Sheffield having a rare chance. Hewitt there out in front. They were outshot 15-3 in the second session. Bit of afters there as well, just for a good measure. But Nottingham certainly in the ascendancy in the second session. Great move here. Wilson gives it to Beauregard, left-hand side, into the offensive zone for Levers. Lovely top shelf finish, and Levers gets his second of the season at 35-25, and the game was really swinging Nottingham's way. Then Colt King became, well, a bit of a villain really. 2 penalties he took there, slashing and then cross-checking, so he goes to the box for 4 minutes. Sheffield saw off that power play as well. As I said, their penalty kill was good. And now watch this moment as well. Tangling on the boards with Beauregard, and there goes the punch. He goes down for a roughing. The Nottingham fans incensed. Beauregard goes down. You can see the punch once more. Murray Hansen gives him 2 for roughing, but then he talked himself into a 10-minute misconduct and a game misconduct, so he had to leave the ice. Guy Lepine just there having words. Of course, the two of them went toe-to-toe last weekend. Sheffield, though, did have some chances, and they outshot Nottingham in the third, 10-9. First of all, Matt Stevenson going close, but Craig Kowalski on his way to a 21-shot shutout when he shut the door. And then Ashley Tate goes through on the netminder. I think he was looking for a penalty there. Just has a word with Hampson, doesn't he? Just see him fling his arms up. So Tate having a chance, and then Stevenson again, but once more Kowalski and the Nottingham defence, they then clear their lines. There was still time for a bit more action, and it was going to be an empty net goal for the Nottingham Panthers. Matthew Myers there into an empty net. The NIC erupts, and Nottingham qualify for the semi-finals of the Challenge Cup. Nottingham 3, Sheffield 0. Cardiff Devils outshot Dundee Stars 17-11 in the first session, but just its only goal to show for it. Great escape from Davis, the finish from Beerbray, the second goal of the season, and that with only 41 seconds to go, so a quiet session up until then in terms of scoring. Now, fisticuffs in front of goal, really going for it, these two. 55, Gerard Adams for the Cardiff Devils, and Brennan Turner, number 3, the defenceman for the Dundee Stars. Defenceman against defenceman, and certainly it was a good bout. The two of them trading punches early on. You see that Adams is trying to get things going, and he swings him around. Then a right-left combination from the player coach, really going for it. And I would say perhaps are going to give it a shade to Adams. It was a good stand-up hockey fight. The two of them eventually tire. It's broken up by the linesman, but kudos to both of them for trying to get things going. So it was only a 1-0 first period. It was a quiet second session, really, up until just under 5 minutes to go. Look at these giveaways from both sides. Neither side can really get things going, but eventually Beerbray and Dobbin combine, and at the back door is Jeff Pearce. Gloves it down, and he scores his first goal of the night, a 9th of the season at 35:07. Not the end of the scoring though in the second session. First of all up for Dundee of the night, the first goal, Zarvin McLean combining for Dan Seaman, the player coach. Talk about player coaches leading by example, this time Seaman. So 1-goal game, 2-1 at 38:10. Where was the next goal going to go? Well, we have power play time for the home side, and Richardson and Dobbin combine. Power play, as I say, and Pearce gets his 10th goal of the season. So 34 seconds into the final session, it is a 3-1 game, and the tide was swinging in Cardiff Devils' favour. Penalty shot here, and that meant Max Beerbray had a chance to make it 4-1, 6:14 into the session. Low past Whitley, it is 4-1, the 5th goal of the night, but the 4th for the Devils, and they were beginning to run away with things. This is a fine way to complete your hat-trick. Matska and Smith combined for Pearce, and the 11th of the season coming away from 2 players. HT goal, and it's a 5-1 goal. As I say, a solo goal. He's got to be proud of that one. At the other end, Conkle and Mazur combine. I think when he looks back at that one, Stevie Lyle will want McLean's shot back. It was 5-2. Could Dundee stage a fight back and really take this game to Cardiff? Well, Cardiff kept on going, roared on by their crowd. They certainly were coming forward. Davis and Smith combining this time, and a good moment for Tim Burrows coming out from behind the net. A 2nd goal of the season. That's 6-2, and it surely was game over. We still had time for more action, goals and fisticuffs. First of all, Harding and Burrows combine, and a special moment for Luke Piggott. Look at the delight. He's 24, played much of his time in the EIHL Cardiff Devils side, but he got Cardiff's final goal of the night. That timed out 55-11. Then Brad Both got himself some major penalties. 5 minutes for fighting here, and he got the 2+10 for instigation. So Voth taking another major penalty. Looked an angry man. Still time for another goal. Seaman and Hutchins combining. Just under a couple of minutes to go for Mazur to score his 3rd goal of the season on the power play. But it went the Devils' way. Cardiff 7, Dundee 3.
So that defeat in Nottingham made it 2 Challenge Cup losses in less than a week for the Steelers, and 2 losses to their old enemy. A fact that didn't sit too well with the Sheffield faithful. Steelers player assistant coach Ashley Tate is a man with vast elite league experience and knows all about the highs and lows teams endured throughout the season.
Ashley, 2nd loss in 6 days against Nottingham Panthers. What happened?
You know, I can't fault the boys for the effort last night. I mean, last week we were criticised heavily. You know, it was kind of a lack of effort. It was a lacklustre performance last night. The result wasn't right, but the effort was there. So we're hopefully we're moving in the right direction.
You just said there that the effort was there, yet you still lost. Isn't that even more worrying?
No, I don't think so. We had chances. Their goalie had a great game again. We get the bounces, things might turn out differently. So as long as we're working hard, we're getting chances, things will go okay.
Now, how important are these Challenge Cup games to not only you but to the team as well?
They're huge. It's a major, one of the 3 major trophies. We haven't had the best of start. We got 1 point from 6, and we've got 5 to go. And we need to win out to progress in the cup. So that's what we're trying to do.
Thoughts ahead of tonight's game? How confident are you?
We've done all right against Cardiff this year so far. I mean, obviously a little bit smaller rink, which kind of plays into their hands a little bit. They're used to that. But we have a game plan, and we know what we're up against, and we'll be ready.
More action for you now from the Odyssey Arena, where on Saturday the Coventry Blaze were in town. It's been a stuttering start for Paul Thompson's side, but with new signing Dustin Wood in the lineup, would that be enough to make the difference? Chris Ellis was there to find out.
Belfast Giants went into this one on a 12-game winning streak, looking for number 13. And Coventry, well, they were looking to kick-start their season. It's been up and down so far. Phillips and Garside tangle there. The two of them go for a roughing. And watch now, a light-hearted moment. Phillips tries to hold Garside's hand. Never seen that before. Ryan Crane certainly wasn't impressed with that one. He went to have a word with him, ushered away there by the linesman. The upshot of it was, though, the two of them both sat for roughing just as the first period was coming to a close. No goals in the first period, but second period action now. Domish starts this move off, gives it to Kroll, then for McLean, and back into the path of Guthrie, who gets his 6th goal of the season, a power play goal at 30-23. Now more power play time, and the shot comes in there from Phillips at right point. It's a 2-goal game. Domish with the pass from left point. 2 power play goals in just over a minute. Look how Coventry celebrate. They were delighted. Into the 3rd session, and what a move from Luke Fulgham. A great move from him at 52-52. A 9th goal of the season for Luke Fulgham, and Coventry ecstatic. They become the first side to shut Belfast out this season. Belfast 0, Coventry 3. These are the thoughts of both coaches.
We didn't play very well. That's the truth. We didn't skate nearly as well as we can skate. We didn't execute the way we can execute. We just, at the end of the day, we did not play the best game that we possibly could. And I said before the game to you, and I said to the team, that tonight was an elimination game for the Coventry Blaze. Had they lost, they would have really fallen behind the pack. And they played that way. They came here desperate, and they got the win, and they deserved it. They outplayed us.
It was a tough game tonight, and but I thought, obviously special teams are key, and we got our 2 power play goals, and we got the 3rd goal with 6-7 minutes to go in the game, and we absorbed the pressure. But I thought we did it well, and we didn't make the mistakes that we did at home a couple of weeks ago, and there's the difference.
Dave, huge win for Coventry. Paul Thompson must be a very happy man.
Who'd have thought that at the Odyssey Arena? I bet the 6,000 in attendance didn't think it. I certainly didn't think it as well, Anna. Can Dustin Wood make that much of a difference to Paul Thompson's side? They played great. Davy Phillips, who's been under a lot of pressure, he scores, has his best game for the Blaze, and just a huge confidence booster for the Coventry side, and a big dent as well for Doug Christensen and his Giants outfit, because they were looking pretty unbeatable up until that point.
Now, just a quick word on the Panthers-Steelers game. What went wrong for the Steelers, and I guess what went right for the Panthers?
There's many ways you can break this down. The simple reality is, and I've thought about it long and hard, is Nottingham are just a better team than the Sheffield Steelers. They have more depth, they have a little bit more quality, they have some top end, and right now they're playing with a whole host of confidence. The Sheffield Steelers will take out of that game that they played a lot better than they did when we saw them last week. They'll take out, they put a solid effort in. But the Nottingham Panthers will take out that they own the Sheffield Steelers right now. And they'll like that because of the local rivalry. They'll also like that because they know it sets them up well for the league title ahead. And just to put another worrying note, no Harima for the Panthers, and they were still destroying the Steelers. They got their best player to come back.
Very exciting times. Well, time for us to take a break, but join us shortly as we'll have plenty more highlights from the Rapid Solicitors Elite Ice Hockey League, including the game here tonight in Sheffield. And Paul Thompson has been talking video with Simsy.
Sponsors of the Elite Ice Hockey League on Sky Sports.